Hello, everybody. It is Monday, the Raw reaction live from the office. And look, I'll tell you, I'm taking notes for the show. And look, by no means was this a perfect show or anything like that. I'm not putting this show up as like, oh, the greatest Raw of all time. But for what we do on a React series, which we have for you after every major WWE and also Dynamite show, I have a lot of likes. Only have one dislike on the entire episode of Raw. So we're going to get to it. I'm not going to get on the Pittsburgh crowd because, look, when you're sitting there for two shows, you got to pace yourself. So I know the crowd made us seem dead. But look, you're taping two shows, got to pace. So I'm not going to get on the Pittsburgh crowd for that. They sold the building out. So that's pretty good. All right, let's get right to it. Things I liked. I'm going to go right at the top. We saw Gunther and LA Knight mix it up with top stars. Beautiful to see. Of course, we said this with Gunther. He's the world champion. He should be mixing it up with top stars. I thought his downfall as world champion in the past, he was not mixing it up with main event level superstars. With all due respect to Damian Priest and even Jey Uso back then. I mean, Jey Uso now is a bona fide main eventer, but a year ago, he was not. But with all due respect to those guys, it's a difference when you're mixing it up now with CM Punk, Seth Rollins. You know, those are the type of guys that need to be contending and competing for world championships, for that world heavyweight title. And it's great to finally see Gunther in that mix. Loved, of course, Seth Rollins coming out. Gunther had a couple of good one-liners as well. He looked at Seth Rollins as like, hey, congrats to you. You're one of the few people who flew all the way half across the country to do nothing. He has some good one-liners. I'm not going to lie to you. Some good one-liners. But good stuff there. I like, when CM Punk and Seth Rollins, which, by the way, good little detour. Had to blow off at SummerSlam, although there is a chance that somebody else is in the picture for that. But whatever. Good detour. LA Knight back in the picture. LA Knight, Seth Rollins. That feels like a fresh matchup for Saturday night's main event. And it's great. But I love, too, with CM Punk, tunnel vision, right? He sees red. I don't think he really sees Gunther. Gunther pulls him, and then Punk shoves him down. Just great. Just absolutely phenomenal. It's something we need. And Gunther, if he's mixing it up, like he's booked as a prize fighter, so he has to mix it up with top talent. And if he is, then the gimmick and the booking will work. The wrestling will back it up. But that was the issue with Gunther in the past. He was not facing top-level talent. So it's like, why do we care to watch him? But now we can, a match with CM Punk will do it. And, of course, a match with Goldberg. And probably one of the more heavily promoted matches in WWE in recent memory. This will be an opportunity for Gunther to shine. And LA Knight coming up as well. I do want to get to this point, too. We have talked extensively about issues with the Seth Rollins group. And you can watch previous reacts. You can watch our show from last week when we talked about Seth Rollins. But I thought the group this week, we're finally seeing some progress. Plan B. Now, I'm a guy, so I'm not going to extensively talk with you guys about Plan B. That's probably not a good thing. But the fact that they brought up Plan B, the fact that the young guys with Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed have no clue what they're talking about, even though Bronson wants to know. Braun Breaker just wants to kill people. And it's Paul Heyman that has to kind of, do I reveal the plan to the guys? Do I not reveal the plan to the guys? Are the guys even ready to hear what I have to say in terms of what's going on? But Seth Rollins flew. Michael Cole said he flew home. I don't believe that. Don't believe he flew home. Seth Rollins flew somewhere on a jet out of Pittsburgh. I don't think it was home. Is it to NXT tomorrow night to recruit that possible fourth member? Tune in tomorrow, NXT, to find out. But nice movement there with the plan B. Love the opener. Raw in the last few weeks have had strong openers. Last week it was Braun Breaker versus Penta in Columbus, which I had the honor to see live. And this week, Judgment Day and a New Day. Interesting wrinkle with the Judgment Day. Babyface. Working as babyfaces, Judgment Day. With Finn Balor and JD McDonough. I don't know if babyface Judgment Day is a long-term thing. We saw the seeds, and the match worked in that way. And look, the New Day heel turn, let's all be honest with ourselves, it has not really materialized to what we had expected when this long-awaited heel turn finally happened after the heated storyline of the proposed breakup between Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods turned into those two uniting to kick Big E out of the group. You expected more, but we just haven't gotten that. And it was the right call to move the tag titles off those guys. But to New Day's credit, in the Judgment Day, they delivered a great match. So, again, setting the bar high. If you did not make it to Pittsburgh in time, you missed Rhea Ripley and Io Sky make their match official, and you missed a great opening tag team match. Also thought Bayley and Lyra had a strong night. All the way started from the backstage promo with with Jackie Redmond, where Jackie Redmond, Bayley, and Lyra, all three look great. And the match itself with I keep saying Becky because that's who they were fighting to compete for the championship for. Bayley and Lyra, makes sense that it was a draw. I like that finish too. I like that, it was a draw. I like Corey Graves pointing out like the stakes are too high for it to be a draw. I like the fact that Michael Cole said, hey, the ref made the right call. It's really up to the general manager to change things up and not go away from the official call. I like the fact that they said because of the draw, there's no number one contender. So technically, the triple threat match is not on yet. We expect it to get there, but it ain't there yet. But I love it. The only thing with Bayley and Lyra, and I've talked about it before, it feels like that feud has skipped some steps. Because it's like it went from, they were great friends to, oh boy, they're sniping at each other to, voila, a brawl. They were just friends. It's like Love Island. Everything was cool at first, and then a day later, your best friend is twerking on your man, and all of a sudden, you don't want to talk. Come on now. Let's not pull a Huda Shelley case here on Monday Night Raw, but it might be some fans of Love Island USA that's watching Monday Night Raw. Just saying. And don't think I didn't notice that with the 6 o'clock start time, there were some people that were like, you know what? During Love Island season, Raw should start at 6 o'clock every single week. So they can watch Love Island live at 9 o'clock. I wouldn't say that because I actually missed Love Island tonight. But you didn't come here to hear about my commentary on that. You do want to hear my commentary about how Goldberg, again, most of his videos, things I liked. I think this was a really good episode of Raw as far as setting storylines, as far as week-to-week storylines, setting the stage for Saturday night's main event and Evolution. One event at a time, right? Goldberg feels extremely important. They did exactly what I wanted them to do in promoting Goldberg. Yes, you have the family angle, but that video package, Chronicle, in these last few weeks, we've seen an interview with Goldberg, we've seen clips of Goldberg highlights, and this week, a full career montage of Goldberg. And then my favorite part, going back to Gunther, when he came out, just like his matches, His highlights was 3 minutes long. This is good. This is good. This is good. And again, going back to Gunther. For those who know this, Goldberg hates to be referred to in wrestling by his real name. It's a Bret Hart thing. You don't call him Bill Goldberg. It's just Goldberg. So the fact that Gunther, in Bret Hart language, kept calling him Bill Goldberg, excellent stuff. Excellent stuff. Again, when Gunther's mixing it up with top caliber people, he's money. When he's a top tier guy mixing it up with mid-carders, it doesn't work. So this is where he shines. All right, there's one thing I did not like from this, and this is honestly not even a how could you complain, but it's just something there, and hopefully things move better from here. Rusev and Sheamus. Maybe the match was fine, hard-hitting, whatnot. I'm not going to go ahead and say that the match was crap. But I'm the type of guy, if you've watched my stuff and, you listen to the show, you know that I value character development and storylines. I value being invested in the story. I would rather watch a subpar match featuring guys or girls that I'm heavily invested in. I'm more entertained by that sometimes than a 4-star or 5-star classic between two guys or two girls that I have no interest in, that I don't care about, anything like that. And while Rusev and Sheamus had a pretty decent match, Rusev, since returning to Monday Night Raw, in my opinion, it's been pretty disappointing. I would say the same for Aleister Black, because they both kind of came back at the same time. But Aleister Black is starting to get into stuff with R-Truth. So Aleister Black's getting an opportunity. Rusev, you're getting video packages. I don't feel invested in Rusev. I just don't. And Sheamus has a place on this card. Veteran, championship pedigree. Sheamus, you don't really have to give him in-depth storylines. It's just, hey, we need somebody to get their ass kicked, so we'll send out Sheamus to do that. But I think with the history here, they loosely refer to the League of Nations. This is one of those things where you got to remind the viewers. There are some newer viewers who don't know about the League of Nations. I watched, and the League of Nations time period of Monday Night Raw and WWE, it's not really pretty. So while you're in a better era of WWE programming, it's probably a good thing to bring the viewers back to why they don't like each other so much. But that also takes weeks of time. That also takes being interested in Rusev over weeks of time, not just a random episode of Raw where you dedicate multiple segments to a match that people may not be invested in. And I think that match might have kind of killed the crowd a little bit in Pittsburgh, knowing that they had a long night ahead of them. But overall, like I said before, this Raw was not like the greatest Raw of all time or anything like that. But there were a lot of things that happened on this show that I loved, that I liked. And keep it up as we're starting to get into, obviously, Saturday's main event, Evolution, and then, of course, SummerSlam season. All right, back here tomorrow, NXT reaction.